It's interesting. If you have a skin problem, you go to a dermatologist and they give you a diagnosis, a label, and then you get some medication, probably a cortisone cream or some other medication. And then you go home and you start applying the cream, and then you wonder why you have to keep taking this cream over and over and over for weeks. Well, it could be that you haven't really corrected the real problem. And out of all the locations of where skin problems originate from, the liver is at the top of the list. And so we're just going to go through all the different skin problems that relate or are caused by your liver, and then I'm going to give you a good solution. Okay? First of all, itchy skin, definitely liver. Why? Because bile is made by the liver, and then it drains out through all these little tubes, bile ducts into the gallbladder, and then it's secreted into the small intestine. And if there's any bit of backup into that plumbing, so to speak, it's going to back up into the blood and out to the skin. You're going to have itchiness. Okay. Next one is a red nose. Okay. This usually occurs in diabetics. You'll see that they have a redness in their nose, but it could come from other things that they're eating too, like junk food or unhealthy food habits. Red nodules, that could be from a certain medical condition that's related to the liver. White and yellow deposits on the eyelid. That is cholesterol backing up into the eyelids. And it's actually, you have these little cholesterol deposits or fatty deposits on the eyelid. That's related to the liver. Now, of course, jaundice is where your skin and eye whites are yellow because of this backup through the bile ducts into the blood and into the skin. I remember one time my skin turned orange. Okay, now that's not jaundice, because jaundice has more of a yellow tint, but it was because I was consuming massive amounts of carrot juice, okay, which I no longer do. All right, next one is spider nevi, which is a liver problem. And it's kind of like it looks like a little bit of a red dot with these little spider webs coming out from it. That is related to too much estrogen, because the liver buffers estrogen. So that's another function of the liver that can turn into a malfunction. Another one is where you have this like red purple plaquing on either your elbows or your arms or your legs. That comes from another condition related to the liver. Red palms is a symptom of a liver issue. There's something else called paper money skin, where if you were to look at maybe the abdomen, legs or arms, it has like a texture or a look of wrinkled up money. Now, if you have too much iron built up in your body, like this accumulation of iron because you have another condition where you can't get rid of iron at all, and it becomes very toxic, your skin becomes gray or bronzed. And actually what's happening, your liver is becoming cirrhotic, or you're developing cirrhosis, advanced scar tissue. Now, I talked about a red nose. You can also have an enlarged red bumpy, bulbous nose with another liver condition. All right, another condition is eczema. Very common in liver conditions, but what do people take for this condition? Skin creams, cortisone cream. The problem is cortisone creams and prednisone, which is a synthetic version of cortisol, destroys the liver even more. So it actually worsens the condition. White nail beds, even though it's from your nail, there's skin underneath the nail. That could be an indication of liver damage. Rosacea, the redness on the cheeks, that's a liver condition. It can also be an alteration in your bowel, which also you're probably going to, at the same time, have a liver problem. Then you have red papules, which are these red little dots on the skin, is related to the liver. And so as you can see, there is a lot of skin problems that are related to the liver. And one point I want to make about drugs, when people take drugs, like for example, statins, for example, you can get blisters on the skin, peeling on the skin, burning on the skin, a red rash for various reasons. And one could be they might deplete your nutrient levels in your body and then create the skin problem, like a B2 or a B3 deficiency will also create all of these symptoms right here. All right, so what is the solution? Of course, we want to improve the liver. There's some immediate things you can do to see a nice change, and that would be, number one, start taking TUDCA. TUDCA is a synthetic type of bile salt. but it doesn't appear to have any side effects, only positive effects. And they made it synthetic because it's a chemical very similar to bear bile. Okay, bear bile, they used to use that as a natural remedy until they were killing too many bears. So they made a synthetic version, which is a good thing. It's called TUDCA. And TUDCA is very unique in that it can help increase the flow of bile that is kind of stagnant in the liver and the bile duct. So it opens up the flow and allows things to drain out. And since most of these skin problems are a backup of stuff that's coming out to the liver and the blood and then the skin, TUDCA is a really good remedy. So you can take that on an empty stomach, take 2 maybe in the morning and then maybe another 1 in the afternoon or just 2 in the afternoon, depending on how bad things are. And I think you should see some change right away. Okay, so that's number 1. As you then correct the real cause, which is probably related to your diet. So you get on keto, the healthy version, of course, and start doing fasting, which will greatly improve your skin. Milk thistle is a really good remedy as well. It's one of the top natural herbs with very little side effects that protects the liver against poisons, but it also can help regenerate liver cells. And the last thing are probiotic foods, like fermented foods. Really good for your liver as well as for your large intestine.